Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce Ng. Joyce, we're back here on a Sunday night doing this again.
Yeah, and I'm back on the East Coast.
I see that. I can tell from your couch and the pillows.
Do you like my Twin Peaks log
Yes,
pillow?
yes.
Yeah. Did you miss it last week?
We just watched the Critics' Choice Awards, Joyce. They have
Well, you did. I actually did not watch it at all.
I watched it all from a feed in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because you cut the cord.
I did, and you know what was hard? Finding how to watch this on TV.
Yeah, because you know what? I realized, like, even if I were still in LA, which I could have been, because TCA is still going on,
Yes.
I would not have been able to watch it because it wasn't live coast to coast.
No, it was live. It was on KTLA, I believe, live.
Are you sure?
Yes, they do it live at 4:00 on KTLA. But
that was just a red carpet, though.
No, I think they do the whole show. It's not taped late.
Because I know in the past they have not done it live.
But while we're dunking on the show, we could talk about Seth Rogen, who came out to give out the Best Comedy Award, Joyce. And
I saw the jokes on Twitter.
Years past, since Seth Rogen has come out in the recent times, he's dunked on the idea of having an award show during COVID, all while he attends the show, doesn't wear a mask, and is joking about how everybody's going to get COVID. We maybe saw that at the Golden Globes because multiple people did not come to this show because they had COVID, including Jamie Lee Curtis and Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson and Michelle Pfeiffer, who I don't know if she was.
Yeah, it was a super spreader, just like how the BAFTAs were a super spreader last year. So,
but Seth Rogen came out and dunked on the idea. One of the things the Critics' Choice Awards this year finished right at 10:00 on the East Coast because they gave out two awards at once. They would have presenters come out and go, "Here are the winners for Best Supporting Actor and Actress on a TV Drama or Comedy." Or
and then they had like both winners on stage at the same time. Again, I did not see this.
Yes,
but I just love the whole concept of it, and I almost don't even want to watch the clips.
You should watch the Sheryl Lee Ralph and Henry Winkler clips because those are great. Because Henry Winkler is like, "Oh man, this is awesome," and then he let Sheryl Lee Ralph have a great speech. Then he was like, "How do you follow that?" And then he did a good speech, and then they both came together at the end. That was like the platonic ideal of that. And then the other times it was just very awkward. I felt like and totally rushed.
A choice.
And then they gave out a ton of awards, obviously going into the commercial breaks, and all the critics on Twitter who were outraged that the Oscars would do this, then participated in a show that does that exact thing that the Oscars wanted to do. Just a fun thing he would just throw out there.
Yeah, but in the Critics' Choice Awards defense, they have done this before.
Yes,
and they also have a lot more categories. They have more than 23 categories because now it's combined, or it has been
with
combined,
TV.
Film and TV. So I really liked when years ago, like a decade ago, the TV awards were separate and they were in the summer. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But now they want all the stars of the show, Joyce. They want them sitting at the tables, mingling with the critics, the 500 members of the Critics' Choice Association. It's a great event. Everybody looked like they were having fun, a lot of selfies. But Seth Rogen came out, and here's what he said. That was weird, he said, of the giving out two awards at once. Why did they do that? Are we crunched for time? Get another hour. It can't be that expensive. You know how I know that? The show airs at 4 p.m. on the CW.
What they did is still better than what they did to Tony Kushner 10 years ago.
Yeah,
when they gave out, I don't know, I watched this ceremony 10 years ago. They gave out the screenplay awards during the commercial breaks, just like they did this year too. Except they had them go up on stage to accept. So Tony Kushner still gave his speech. You just didn't see it on TV because it was during the commercial break. So that was fine, whatever. And then after that, they asked for him to give his statuette back because they needed more statuettes to hand out for the future categories. And Sally Field, there for Lincoln, this is for Lincoln, she was so upset about this, and she called them out, like Critics' Choice Awards out, and I think she vowed never to go again.
Wow.
But she was very upset.
I have to say, Joyce, I have to say, I think the show has come a long way because even though Seth Rogen, who continued and dunked on the CW, I'm not saying the CW is bad.
I think this was back when they were still on A&E.
Yeah. I will say the show was actually pretty fun. Chelsea Handler was the host. She was, very traditional yuck monologue in the front, making fun of things that people would make fun of, and getting laugh lines about James Corden and all those different things, and talking about, the difference between women directors and male directors is James Cameron got $2 billion to make Avatar, and Sarah Polley shot women talking in a barn, that kind of joke. It's like very traditional. And then the presenters were all very nice. And then they just gave out two awards at once, but they finished at 10 o'clock. I think Chelsea Handler said at the end, the first in the history of award shows to finish on time, which maybe is true.
Yeah, I mean, those CW affiliates, news at 10,
Yeah,
got to get it in there. You can't go 20 minutes over like the Globes. But
no,
I kind of forgot that she was hosting. Like I knew she was hosting, but I think because it was just her material, I guess, or just the way it was received, it just seemed like it was just there, and like I didn't see a lot of reactions to it like there was to Gerard Carmichael's at the Globes,
no.
like either positive or negative. It was just like she's just at the helm of the ship. And
Well, yeah. Also, the other thing they did different. I mean, obviously, like all these hosts, like we know that they come out, they do their bits, and then they're gone basically, or they'll do like a few things during the show. Chelsea Handler really disappeared. I think she came back once and then gave out the final award, which was Best Picture. But it's a 3-hour show. She maybe had 20 minutes of screen time, if that.
so no evisceration of Scientology or
No,
Will Smith.
nothing like that. None of those. None of
This is
those
this
bits.
is so I didn't miss anything. I was watching tennis, so got a
You missed.
Australian Open first day, so I can't choose the Globes, or not the Globes, Critics' Choice over that. So,
But I'll tell you what, you missed a significant, I would say, moment in televised speeching, because I thought we had a lot of great speeches, and especially from contenders that are like either fringe for a nomination or now maybe going to win an
but
Oscar
see,
based on
you're
these
the one
speeches.
who loves speeches,
I
so it's
do.
good for you that you watch it. I don't really care
Yeah.
about speeches, so.
So I guess we'll go through the awards and then we'll do some. If you're still watching this and we're still awake, we'll do some BAFTA predictions later. And because that's coming up because we're not going to talk again until the BAFTAs come out, Joyce. Should be another data point before Oscar predictions.
Yeah, but Oscar voting closes before BAFTA nominations.
True,
so.
but at least gives us an idea maybe of like what it is. Oscar voting closes Tuesday, I believe, right? We're recording this Sunday night.
Yes.
So Everything Everywhere All at Once won 5 awards, Joyce. Some outlets are saying 4, but it actually won 5 because the 5th was Best Editing, which they gave out in a commercial break. So I'm not surprised some people missed it. But it won Best Editing, Best Screenplay, also a commercial break winner. Ki Hu Kwan for Best Supporting Actor, Best Director for the Daniels, and Best Picture. That's 5.
Nothing shocking in terms of the wins.
So I was actually a little surprised with the screenplay win, to be perfectly honest.
Banshees of Inisherin completely shut out.
We both had it winning screenplay. It felt like an easy screenplay win, but I guess the critics didn't love it, even though it has won a tremendous amount of critical
Well, I would
prizes.
say this group doesn't love it.
Colin Farrell's won how many critic groups Best Actor wins?
It's in the teens probably. I mean, like Brendan he's in second. I think he's probably, maybe this is like his 10th win maybe today. But yeah, definitely Colin is the real critical favorite. But as I was saying last week when we were doing our predictions, Critics' Choice's actual favorite is Brendan Fraser.
Which we know because obviously
we know that because like the membership is like 90% of Film Twitter.
So here's the thing: the Critics' Choice Awards. I have these stats because I had to do the live blog and the winners list. Joyce, they're great copy. You got to read it. It's awesome. I'm telling everyone.
I'll do it right after this.
Yeah, definitely get on that. Google it and you'll find it. But they match about 70% of the time. I think in the last 27 years, 22 best directors have gone on to win, 18 best actors, 15 best actresses, 17 supporting actors, and 19 supporting actresses, and 15 best pictures. So not great on best picture, maybe about 50% of the time, but everything else is pretty strong. So that means tonight we probably saw 3 or 4 Oscar winners, right? Now we know Ki Hu Kwan is going to win an Oscar. He won here tonight. He gave his great speech. I love that speech. It's a great one. He kind of gave it at the New York Film Critics Circle where he was like, I'm not going to cry.
So you got like the preview, the rehearsal.
It did. It was great. And it's a great, I have nothing negative to say about him or his performance or anything. I love him winning.
He's having the time of his life. I mean, you saw those photos at like AFI lunch and BAFTA tea over the weekend. So.
I mean, just the best. I love it so much. I hope he gets so many great Marvel and Disney opportunities after this beyond Loki. I want him in like everything.
Yeah, so I also saw him and Michelle on Friday because they were at TCA for their show American Born Chinese in the morning before they went to the AFI lunch. And then James Cameron did the opposite because he came for Nat Geo later in the day. But he was, again, charming everyone like on the panel as well. He told this story about how he was nervous about accepting the role on the show because he plays a character who is a former 90s star, and on that TV show, within the show, he plays like a stereotypical Asian character. So he didn't want to perpetuate that. And then and this was before Everything Everywhere came out. So he said that he told the producers, he's like, okay, if I accept this role and the show comes out and everyone hates me, please promise me you'll give me another job. And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. So
That's great.
Yeah.
So he won Best Supporting Actor. Angela Bassett won Best Supporting Actress. Gave kind of a very similar speech to what she did at the Golden Globes. A very incredibly
Did she
well
read from her
received-
phone?
She didn't really read from her phone actually this time. But Paul Walter Hauser did. He honestly gave almost the same speech. Henry Winkler had the best line though, because he was like, I didn't even expect to win so much. I didn't even get my shirt cleaned. I just hung it up. And I'm wearing the same shirt I wore to the Globes.
I respect
Icon.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, Angela Bassett won. Now she's won 2 televised awards in a row. The logic there would be probably now a front runner for Best Supporting Actress in the Jessica Chastain mode of no one else is here to take this, so I guess I will just be the front runner, kind of. That's what it feels like to me.
But like we had always pegged her for SAG anyway, even before she won the Globe. So she's gonna win 3 of these. BAFTA will be the hardest for her.
If she gets nominated at BAFTA, I think that's going to be a great sign.
BAFTA is also before SAG this
Right.
year too. But I think like regardless of what happens at BAFTA, she's gonna win SAG.
She definitely would win SAG. I could see her if she gets nominated at BAFTA. I think that just shows to show that she'll win the Oscar, maybe. But I guess we'll see. And then the other winners were Cate Blanchett for Tar and Brendan Fraser for The Whale, both of which I got wrong. I had Michelle Yeoh because I was just like, they're going to go wild for Everything Everywhere, and they did everywhere except for Best Actress. I can't believe that wasn't a tie. And then Brendan Fraser, I had Colin Farrell winning. And I really thought Austin Butler was going to win because of the potential for a very dramatic and kind of like emotional speech following the death of Lisa Marie Presley, who died while they were still voting for the Critics' Choice Awards. And I was like, oh, that's a great TV moment. I bet you some people are going to try to like vote him in. Maybe it'll be a tie.
But you know what also happened before voting closed?
What?
The Whale got a PGA nomination.
So I think that maybe was a big boost.
How many people waited until the last day to vote, which was Friday, to see how all these other nominations and awards bodies shook out?
So I think there's probably, like we said, it's 500 people is a lot of people, and getting 500 people to agree on anything or come to a consensus is obviously impossible. You could have 10 people and you can't come to a consensus. But I know at least one voter who waited till Friday to vote, but only because this voter forgot to vote and then was like, oh, when I told him, I was like, voting closes tomorrow. This voter was like,
do
oh,
they
shit,
not send out reminder emails?
Yes, he must have filtered those to spam because he did not vote. So he didn't, and he doesn't really follow this stuff as an awards thing. He's voting it as like this is the stuff I liked to win.
Do you know what he voted for?
I know when he voted for Best Picture, he voted for RRR because he loved RRR.
That's it.
So I was like, oh, so he's not going to vote. But I'm like, a lot of people probably either waited to the very end because either they were just lazy or forgot or were busy.
I mean, I do know some people voted right when voting opened the week before.
Sure.
So yeah.
And then also probably some people who are like kind of like gamesmanshipping it and trying to figure out, we want to be a great Oscar predictor. Let's wait till the PGA to see. So Brendan Fraser wins, Joyce. We've been waiting for him to give a speech because he has not really won anything. He won some, like you said, some critics prizes, but not a ton. And not at the Golden Globes at all. And there really hasn't been
he wouldn't have been there anyway to give a speech, even if he had one.
Right. And then the Gotham Awards and stuff, not really televised, but he didn't win or whatever, but there's like opportunities have popped up for him to give speeches that haven't materialized. So this is the first one he got to give. And it was people were responding like they do to the movie. Weeping. Right.
Yeah.
Weeping at Brendan Fraser to the point where I was like, I got to put him back in first maybe for Best Actor, Joyce. I think I might have to do it. I don't know. I haven't done it yet.
I mean, I don't think anyone is shocked by you having that reaction.
I just was like, I just feel like people are going to watch his speech and then be like, obviously he's got to win, that kind of thing.
How many people are going to watch that speech?
I think people do watch it in the industry. I think that in the end, we know he's getting nominated, so it doesn't actually matter, right?
I mean, I think I think they would watch the movie more than they would watch that speech. Like, obviously the people in the room saw the speech and they were weeping.
Well, I do think the movie obviously has been like it is the movie that people want to see, whether they like it or not. It's
no, because my friend definitely does not want to see it.
You have a friend who doesn't want to see it, but the ticket sales would disagree because it's got made like $10 million.
No, I know, yeah, it's like 10 million right now. Yeah, no, it's doing very well, and
PGA nomination.
And it's really lucking out that those last couple slots in Best Picture are so tenuous. Like we have the locked 7, and then those 3 spots up for grabs. And this
We
is the
talked about
one that
this.
makes people cry.
We talked about this on Friday, and you said there's like literally could be 10 different movies for
It's
that,
like
like
seriously, yeah.
for those spots. I think in the end, you're right. Like The Whale makes people cry, and that will get it in. So I do think it's getting a Best Picture nomination. And now I'm like, if it gets in for Best Picture, one of the reasons I had said like for months or been all on Austin Butler and then also Colin Farrell as an opportunity as well was just because like those movies felt like the stronger movies. But now I'm like, The Whale could get like 5 nominations, which would make it just almost as strong as probably Elvis will be in the end.
I think it's still like the other two movies are still stronger than The Whale. And I think they're also more beloved. I think The Whale is just makes you the most emotional.
So I want to ask you this, like we were talking about this, like The Whale definitely feels like the most polarizing, right? Obviously, because people do hate it, especially on like Twitter. People are not into this movie. But I'm also like, the industry might just love it. Like maybe we're just
It makes me it's like the Coda effect, right? It makes you
they
cry.
don't like it's not polarizing.
But,
it's kind of like they don't care.
But
They
I
just
don't
like I
think
love
it like it's not I don't think anything that happened tonight in terms of any of these winners changed anything really. Like, and then like him winning here again, not really that surprising because we know he is this group's favorite. Like they've been stumping for him since before the film even opened anywhere,
Right.
like at festivals in Venice, you know? So I think he the fact that like they're still like, unlike last year when the ceremony moved to March because of COVID and after SAGs, they didn't go with their actual faves, which was Kristen Stewart, because Jessica Chastain won SAG. So I think them still being in their normal time frame in January, like they feel like this is like there is no like locked winner in Best Actor, right? You could say like it is a 3-man race.
Yeah.
So it's them trying to plant the flag for him, like their actual favorite,
Right.
which I think would have happened for Kristen Stewart if the Critics' Choice Awards were in January last year.
Right. So I would say like, then to me, I'm like, this is a great help for Brendan Fraser because I thought the speech was great and the people in the room really did love him. And I think it's like a good opportunity.
And like, I don't think it really, it's just more like, it's just reaffirming that he is still in this, which we already knew from the PGA nomination.
Yes. We knew that he was in it, but I'm like, he's really in it. I think there's like definitely an affection for him.
So here, like, are you gonna switch to him for SAG then? Which is like, they would definitely go for him.
I actually probably will switch to SAG over Austin for him, for sure. It just feels like a SAG. This speech is designed to get SAG votes. He was basically like, I mean, I'm a working actor. It took me 35 years to get up here. And like that kind of thing is like going to resonate, I think, with an actor. So I do feel like he will win there. Yes. And then if he wins there and wins here and he's a BAFTA nominee, then does he just end up steamrolling in through the Oscars if it's a Best Picture?
So you're gonna have him winning BAFTA too?
He might. I have no idea. I mean, I think he
BAFTA's
could.
before SAG, remember?
No, I know. I think he could though. I mean, I thought Colin Farrell would win there, obviously, just because. But like, I
think
still
Colin
probably do.
Still win BAFTA.
I guess I would just, like the problem with the Colin Farrell the problem with it, even though I still have Austin Butler winning in my Oscar picks because I just feel like Colin Farrell would be a great winner, but it's not anything seemingly like what they want to give an Oscar to, right? Because it's like,
I mean, that's what we've always talked about, which is why it was already amazing that Colin was winning so many critics prizes, like the regional critics, which you would think would favor Brendan or Austin, but then Austin was just winning breakthrough stuff.
Right. So it was like Austin was doing breakthrough stuff, and then maybe it's possible that like Brendan and Austin were like kind of splitting the massive transformation vote.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like Austin could still eat into Brendan's vote, and like it's also biopic.
Right. So maybe Colin still win. I mean, like I said, I'd love Colin Farrell to win an Oscar, and the speech would be great. But this was a great speech for Brendan Fraser. He nailed it. I thought it was like really well done. And then Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. This was like what you were saying there. Like clearly they all love. Cate Blanchett is almost undeniable. Though I think they would have loved to have tied this because I feel like everyone on film Twitter loves Michelle Yeoh.
You would have expected it to go to Michelle just because they love Everything Everywhere, obviously. It won 5 other awards, but I think this has always been Michelle's issue, so to speak. Like there are other avenues for people to award this movie. Obviously, he like dusted, and then it can win Best Picture, it can win Director, it can win Original Screenplay, it can win Editing, and it doesn't feel like I guess like people, like if you're voting that way, it doesn't feel like you need to vote this extra category for it. Right. Whereas like Tar has always been seen as a Cate Blanchett thing. Like this is the place to award the movie. She is the movie. She's in every single frame of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also a testament to just how strong and revered that performance is by Cate, right. And I think like if it weren't for, Everything Everywhere and like this little movie that blew up and Michelle also having this narrative, I think there wouldn't even be a question about Cate steamrolling this season.
No, I mean, it's like we said this from like minute one. It's like fully Daniel Day-Lewis in like Lincoln style, or like There Will Be Blood to me.
Yeah, and I think people are it's like, yes, it is going to be her third Oscar in a short-ish time frame. I also do love that she was basically in her speech like telling people not to award her like Frances McDormand style.
Yeah, she was definitely like, this is silly.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Yeah, I think she'll win too, honestly. I feel like because I just think she'll win at BAFTA and then probably even SAG, honestly. And I think she's just gonna, like, people are like, no one is saying, like, she's so undeniably like the best actor of her like generation. It feels like that no one is going to be. Michelle Yeoh is a great story and everyone loves her and they'll all thank her in their wins. The Daniels did and Keo Kwan. Everyone will be like, thank God for Michelle Yeoh. We wouldn't be here without her, but she's not going to get up there. It feels like in the end. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I get it's just like bad timing. Like, I mean, sometimes it's just timing too, but this should have been like, in addition to the Globe, like a really gettable win for Michelle, like seeing how much they love that movie, and knowing the people in that group love this movie, right? And at the very least, you would expect a tie.
Well, yeah. So that's what we expected. I thought for sure. But and then the other, I mean, honestly, I gotta say, Daniels did a little bit surprise me at Best Director. I thought maybe I predicted Spielberg. I thought they would just go for Spielberg when he wasn't. It didn't seem like he was there, and I was like, that maybe is going to be a sign that he's not going to win. And then I also thought Todd Field could win just because, again, the critics really loved it. It makes a lot of sense that the Daniels won. And I guess they could easily, obviously, win Best Director at the Oscars. I know some people still don't even have them predicted to get nominated at the Oscars, it seems. At least some pundits are like, maybe they'll catch up now. But I don't know. I don't
think their win is that surprising. I also had Spielberg, but I just kept him because he won the Globe. I think if he hadn't won the Globe, I would have just moved to the Daniels, just knowing that they love this movie.
Right.
And I think like they also feel like because The Fabelmans seems like it's been up and down, The Fabelmans. A lot more downs than ups, really. I mean, it did win 2 Globes, but I think they see like Best Director at the Oscars not as a complete lock for Spielberg. So, and knowing like they want to predict Oscars, they see this as an opening to give to the Daniels, who could win DGA and the Oscars.
I'm still not going to go off Spielberg for Oscars, but I think if obviously he lost the DGA, I would change my mind. But I'm like, I can't imagine him not winning, even if the movie wins and they win screenplay, which I think could actually be in the conversation too then, right? Like we were expecting maybe Martin McDonagh would win there, and then Everything Everywhere wins Best Picture.
It is kind of funny, like with like a critical fave like Banshees going home empty-handed here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, like we said, I don't think it really matters in the
No, because like they're not industry, so no. Like neither are the Globes. So
right. And then Everything Everywhere on Best Picture, totally unsurprising. It seemed like that was like a very obvious lock. I'll pull back the curtain, Joyce. I had to do the winners list, and you're updating it, and then you got to rewrite the top because at the top of the post I just left it. It's like bullshit that I wrote about like before the show.
This
And
this
then
is what happens when you're doing live stories. You gotta edit up top. So
and I started writing that Everything Everyone Best Picture at like
yeah.
10:30. I was just rewriting the whole top, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
I do that too. Yeah, you want like dummy copy in there, and
yeah,
then you
but
can
I
always,
knew it won in my head.
but
I
if
was
you
like,
forget, that's when you get those posts that go live, and you still have like TKs in
yeah,
there,
you
like
can't have the
TK1.
TKs.
Yeah.
But I definitely was like typing it up, and I was like, I did not publish it like this, but I was like, I had it all ready to go, so I could write at 10 o'clock, go bing, it won, because I knew it was gonna win. It was so obvious it was gonna win. And it's like not even a surprise.
I would say like in terms of them trying to predict the Oscars, I could see them getting both screenplay categories quote unquote wrong.
So they went Everything Everyone Women Talking. This is where I would say like, and again, I know you don't agree with me with the speeches, but I was like, this is like, it would have been great to see Sarah Polley give a speech. We haven't gotten to see her give a speech really this whole award season. The movie is on the fringe, right, for a Best Picture nomination. We're in the middle of voting. If Sarah Polley gets to go up and give a speech for adapted screenplay, and it's like it blows very engaging, people are going to be like wowed by her speech. Maybe that helps it get maybe more people think of it as a Best Picture nominee, right? In addition to adapted screenplay. But that didn't happen because they didn't do it. And she posted on Twitter a very funny tweet that you sent me that was like, I didn't even realize we won. And I didn't even know Hildur Gudnadottir won for Tar. And I thought Women Talking, but I didn't realize for 20 minutes that it was Tar. Great stuff. She's so fun. I love Sarah Polley.
Yeah, the score win was great too for Tar, which is ineligible at the Oscars. But as we were talking last week, is like anyone can win here.
I literally put it in last place because I was like, well, obviously they're not going to go Tar for score because it won't get an Oscar win. And then they picked Tar, which I was surprised by, especially because there's not a lot of actually her score in the movie. That's why it's like not eligible. It's not even like bad. There's just not a lot of music for her in the movie.
Yeah, but it's like she just, she composed music for Lydia Tar,
right?
Like that's her music, and
right.
But Critics' Choice, they don't have those rules like the Oscars do, so it could be eligible here, so it doesn't matter.
They also sent out vinyl records for the Tar that I know
it's a lot true. They did.
Critics' Choice members got, so maybe that was like a help because they were able to play it on their record players. So Everything Everywhere on screenplay, adapted screenplays, Women Talking, film ensemble and comedy film went to Glass Onion over Everything Everywhere. I got both of these wrong. I think so did you probably.
I did too. And they also this wasn't even announced in the commercial break. This was announced in the pre-show. I was still at dinner when those were announced, and I was like, what?
So funny thing, I'd love to know that. I would love to hear, God, nobody would care about this except for me, but they were announced on Twitter by the Glass Onion Twitter feed. That was where I saw it. And then everybody's like, oh, Glass Onion won 2 awards. They did not announce it on the show until literally much later in the show. They did it as part of like one of the going to commercial breaks. And they were like, Glass Onion won, Glass Onion won. Like they actually waited. It was funny. Like those were already announced on Twitter.
I think they were announced, like from what I gather based on the tweets, like they were announced during the pre-show during the 4 o'clock hour.
Maybe. I wasn't watching
their red carpet, so
maybe it was on the
that's
red
what
carpet.
I gathered from it, because I know they've done that before with certain categories, because
right.
they also did like young actor too for
right, Gabriel LaBelle.
So
which I also got wrong.
Yeah. And then I think like the Glass Onion Twitter just obviously tweeted it after. So.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was like, did they just jump the gun and then the Critics' Choice didn't follow? But anyway, that is a comedy more so than Everything Everywhere, I'd argue. So congratulations there on a comedy film win. And then for ensemble, I'm very surprised it didn't win Everything Everywhere, but also it didn't need to win because it won every other award and the cast got up on stage like multiple times. So probably
I switched to Women Talking because I was like, that is the most ensemble-y, and like they do want to support that film. Like a lot of people in that group love that film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we said Gabriel LaBelle for young actor, the only Fabelmans win. So Fabelman's got 1 victory for Gabriel LaBelle, and Banshees and Inisherin got none. And those are potentially 2 of the 3 biggest Oscar contenders. And Top Gun just got 1 as well for cinematography. So these are like 3 of the biggest Best Picture contenders, we'd argue. Only got 1.
Yeah, but none of. I mean, I would say the only thing that's surprising was the Banshees shutout. Like the other 2 just winning 1 is not that surprising.
Right. What else? I just lost my page. Let's see. This is great stuff. Animated feature was Pinocchio, just steamrolling ahead, getting Guillermo del Toro another Oscar, it looks like. Foreign film went to RRR, another non-surprise, I would say. Top Gun.
Yeah, because that's their favorite, and like this is a case where they don't care that it's not eligible at the Oscars because it wasn't submitted.
Right.
but this is her favorite, and obviously also one song.
Right, one song. Cinematography, Top Gun. Costume design was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Best editing went to Everything Everywhere, like we said. Hair and makeup. Here's when I was like, wow, they really don't like The Whale. It went to Elvis instead of The Whale. I was shocked by that because I was like,
I mean,
think
the hair and makeup in Elvis is good.
it's fantastic, but I mean, like The Whale is like the whole movie.
The Whale is just, it's prosthetics, and it's like,
right.
Yeah.
It's pretty great aesthetics, though. It is really good. I mean, like, I think it'll win at the Oscars. Best score, I literally had Tar in last place. I had Women Talking winning. So I had Hilder, just the wrong Hilder, to win. And then
just like Sarah Polley thought it was for Women Talking.
So that was why I put. And then I had Songs RR. Production design, I actually yelped because it was Babylon, Florencia Martin, who I interviewed and you interviewed last year for Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, she did Licorice Pizza. And she also did Twin Peaks, and she loved My Pillow.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
she didn't get one. So I was like, you need to hit up Showtime.
Man, I had in fourth place. I really went against my better judgment there. And then Avatar won visual effects, and that's the best films. So yeah, like we said, I mean, nothing wild here, even though I was 47% accurate, you were 57% accurate. So like, while I'm like, oh, no surprises here, I obviously bombed hard. But what are you going to do? I guess I don't know. I guess the Daniels. Like I said, I don't think the Daniels are going to win Best Director, but if they win GGA, then I would say they are probably. And I still think Cate Blanchett won Best Actress. And the other three categories are maybe coming into focus more as well. Hugh Kwan and Angela Bassett. Let's go, I guess.
I mean, again, that needs to be the first award at the Oscars.
Probably will be.
Like before they even start.
For TV, Joyce, we both crushed. My ranking was 6 out of 1,800.
Oh my God, congratulations. Top 10.
I know. I voted for these like I was a member of the Critics' Choice Awards.
I don't even know. I don't even remember what I picked.
I got 14 out of 16. The only two I got wrong were Quinta Brunson over Jean Smart won Comedy Actress. We could go through the winners. So Abbott Elementary won Comedy Series. No surprise there, I would say. Jean Smart won Actress over Quinta Brunson, which did surprise me, obviously. Jeremy Allen White for The Bear for Comedy Actor. Supporting Actress went to Sheryl Lee Ralph. And then supporting actor went for Henry Winkler, where I had Leslie Jordan and then Tyler James Williams. So not great. Those are the comedy winners. So I know why you had Leslie Jordan. I was like, they're not actually the type to do that. No.
So not that I predicted Henry Winkler, because I think I had TJ Dubs. But
it just felt like they would go TJ Dubs
with Henry's win. So
yeah. And great speech. Like I said, you should watch him and Sheryl Lee Ralph together. They were really good. For drama series, this one we just were like, this is their fave. Better Call Saul. They love the show.
It's Better Call Saul is just gonna go Emmy-less, but I mean it's still eligible this year, but I don't think it's gonna win, sadly. But it's always gonna have Critics' Choice Awards because it won drama series for the first time, and Bob Odenkirk became the first person to win drama actor 3 times.
Pretty great. And it was great seeing him win. People love Bob Odenkirk. I was like, I think he'll win at SAG too, probably, right? And then
he better win at SAG. And they also gave supporting actor to Giancarlo Esposito,
which I predicted because I was just looking at this list. We were like, none of these. That was a really strange category, Joyce.
Did I switch to him? I don't even remember if I switched to him. I think I switched to him.
The other nominees were Matt Smith for House of the Dragon, John Lithgow for The Old Man, Ishmael Cruz Cordova for Lord of the Rings, Michael Emerson for Evil, and Andre Braugher for The Good Fight. It's like, of course, Giancarlo Esposito is going to win there. Like,
I think I switched it because I think I remember saying I just put Matt Smith in there as a placeholder.
Yes.
But I can't even find my thing. I don't even know where it is. Oh, I got 81%. Oh.
Yeah, you did great too. We're great at TV. We're movie experts here. We did great at TV.
I love TV. I've always loved TV.
I know,
you don't love
always
TV.
say TV. I'm like fine on TV. Zendaya won Best Actress. Bob Odenkirk for Best Actor for Drama. Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus did a much more mannered speech. Very quick. Probably because she was upstaged with another person, and they had to do 2 speeches at once, basically. With Giancarlo Esposito, who won Supporting Actor. TV movie was weird. Al Yankovic's story.
I mean, you must have been very happy with between that and Daniel Radcliffe. So.
I had both of them winning, so yeah. And then I had the drop. This is why I did so well. I decided to finally not give up and pick the dropout.
Only because Jessica Chastain wasn't here, so you couldn't even go for her.
No. So I had the Dropout winning limited series, and then Amanda winning mini series TV movie actress. Radcliffe, like we said, Niecy Nash Betts won supporting actress, gave a great speech, and Paul Walter Hauser won supporting actor in a limited series or movie. much like they did at the Golden Globes, and it felt like that was like a definite piggyback on the Globes, right? I would feel.
For Paul?
Yeah.
No, because I think he was like the front runner, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Like he was ahead anyway. Like of
You tell me Matthew Good wasn't going to win.
listen, you're the offer stand here, so you weren't even predicting him.
No, remember I had
And you like and the offer stands were quite upset with you on Twitter.
As Good as Gold wrote, sad to hear you don't think hashtag Matthew Good will win Best Supporting Actor for Bob Evans and hashtag The Offer at the Critics' Choice Awards, but thank you for your continued support of him. Please, we forgive you for the predictions. So I'm on good terms with
Well,
the
you were
Matthew
right.
Good.
So yeah,
I'm on good terms with Matthew Good Army, and I was right, so maybe that helps. But
you're
Matthew
just,
Good was robbed.
you didn't hope dicked it. So
No, I couldn't. That was the TV. I'm trying to think what else we got, Joyce, from the show. Was that we're going to talk about this maybe, or we can just do it now. Andrea Riseborough getting a mention in Cate Blanchett's speech right away. She's like, great actors like Andrea
she also
Riseborough.
mentioned her on the red carpet. She basically recycled her red carpet interview answers.
If you're like, why are we talking about the movie To Leslie? It's because everyone in Hollywood decided to tweet about it this weekend, starting with Edward Norton. You said I have his tweet here.
Edward started last week.
Edward Norton wrote, I don't post a lot about films or actor performances. Maybe I should more often. But for those interested in really great acting, I'll share that Andrea Riseborough's performance in To Leslie just knocked me sideways. It's about the most fully committed, emotionally deep, physically harrowing performance I've seen in a while. Now we're into his second tweet. Just raw and utterly devoid of performative BS. It's a tough but really elegant and compassionate film, parentheses, by Michael Morris, where the emotion is really earned. I happened to catch it, and wow, I was really staggered by it. The depth she reached, very rare. Check it out and vote for her for Best Actress. He didn't write that. I'm editorializing there at the end because now everyone is saying vote for To Leslie.
Well, and so like when he did that last week, I just thought like, oh, that's cool. He's supporting his Birdman co-star, right?
Yeah.
But then once voting started on Thursday, every actor comes out of the woodwork. Some of these people, I'm pretty sure, are not even Oscar voters, but
I was trying to figure out who is an Oscar voter there. It's not easy.
I mean, some of these people are definitely not Oscar voters, okay? But a lot of them are.
Yes.
And everyone, when Thursday hit, everyone all over their socials just stumping for Andrea Riseborough, for To Leslie, and yeah, they're going. She was on. Well, Mark Maron is in the movie too, so she was on his podcast, right. As well. Yesterday, Kate Winslet moderated a Q&A with her and Michael Morris, and then on Tuesday, the last day of Oscar voting, Amy Adams is going to do the same thing. So they've all worked together. I mean, Andrea has worked with a ton of people too.
Prolific actor.
Yeah, and then Michael Morris, if anyone doesn't know, he's married to Mary McCormick.
Right.
Star of The West Wing. Allison Janney, star of The West Wing, is also in this movie, and a lot of West Wing people are also stumping for Andrea. Right. So, but I really I know like so much of film Twitter is like completely shook by this, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? This is really shady. It's not shady at all. Mm-hmm. Like, it's an indie film. I have not seen it.
I haven't either.
Yeah, but it's an indie film. They obviously don't have an awards budget. I don't even think they have a regular P&A budget that much to, promote the movie. And they're clearly just targeting Ampus voters because they want to get her the big one. Like, there's a reason why they were not going all out, throughout the fall for these precursor awards or these other awards, because we just want to focus on the Oscars.
Right.
That's it. And it's it's really like there's nothing shady about it. It's just a grassroots campaign. And I know, some people thought it was weird that a lot of celebrities were using the same copy in their tweets and posts. Like, here, I'll read one. Joe Montana was one of them, who just wrote, hashtag To Leslie movie is a small film with a great heart. At Andrea Riseborough, which is not even linked because it doesn't exist, gives the performance of the year, and at Allison B. Janney, at Mark Maron, at Real O Antique, at Mr. Dr. Dre Royo, and Stephen Root are all incredible. Directed by Film by Michael Morris. So a lot of celebs use the same copy, and it's just like her rep or whoever is masterminding this. They just suggest a copy for these people to share.
Yeah.
If they don't want to compose something themselves, totally fine. Because you know what? This is not really any different than someone signing a petition, right? And not actually reading the letter, but you support the cause.
Right.
So that's what they're doing. They're supporting her cause.
I think she's moved into the top 10 in our odds.
Incredible. I would love for her to make it in because
It would be
I want
awesome.
more chaos.
It'd be so great. She only needs, I mean, what does she need? Like 200 mentions probably?
It's, well, so the threshold is 218, I think, or 217, like one of those. But it gets redistributed in a certain way. Like,
Yeah.
I think like votes also get halved at some point. It depends on like how many people reach the threshold and if there's like a surplus of more than half or something, or like double, like the surplus is double, like 218 or 217 or something.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of people are very perturbed by this. I'm like, this is fun. This is like the last minute twist we need.
It would be great. I mean, I love it. But Cate Blanchett made a point to mention her. Now, like we said, like Seth Rogen said, 4:00 in the afternoon on CW or KTLA in this case, and 7:00, 10:00 at night in the East Coast on the CW. Not a large viewership base probably there. So not like a lot of people saw it, but a lot of people in the room maybe are like, oh yeah, I gotta watch that movie. Gotta watch it. To Leslie. Gotta add to my list before the voting closes.
How many of these celebrities who's been posting about it the past couple of days have seen this movie?
50%. How many of the celebrities do they? I'm sure a lot take. I'm not gonna say any names. How many people do you think actually take it seriously enough to watch the movies versus ask their assistants or whatever what they should vote for?
I think the people who've worked with her would watch the movie. Like I think Kate Winslet watched the movie.
Definitely, if she's doing a Q&A, yeah.
Yeah, like Amy Adams, Frances Fisher definitely watched it because she's like spearheading this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like if you've seen her Instagram posts.
Yeah.
So she thinks Cate Blanchett, Michelle Yeoh, and Viola Davis are locked. I would say only 2 of those are locked.
We don't have Viola, but maybe Francis. I mean, I'm a nobody. I don't know anything. But I'm like, maybe she is locked. I guess depends on what people say.
Yeah.
Joyce, should we move to the BAFTA predictions because it's getting late and I'm getting tired.
I know we're closing on midnight here.
It's 11:30. So BAFTA comes out on Thursday morning.
Yes.
And then we'll record on Thursday through our final Oscar picks. Final in quotes, because we'll make a lot of changes before the following Tuesday. So I guess let's go through. I haven't updated my BAFTA picks, honestly, since I think it started. So I'm going to do it live. I'm pulling a Joyce.
You know what? I just did them today because I had not done them yet.
So here are my picks for Best Picture, and then you can give yours. I have The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, All Quiet on the Western Front, and the movie Elvis.
The movie Elvis. Not the man.
No, the movie Elvis.
So I have Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, and also the movie. I thought about All Quiet, and also Triangle of Sadness, and then I just didn't do either of them.
So I think All Quiet needs a boost because even though it's made a lot of short lists, and as everyone is expecting it then to be like a major Best Picture player, including me because I have it in there on my 10. And it's very possible it could be in there at 10. Like we said, the 8, 9, 10 spots are wide open. But I don't know. I think it gets in here. It just feels like this was the group that was very excited about All Quiet. They had 14 or 15 long list mentions, right? So I just think it'll get in here. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to like read how well it would do because like even like some movies just get a lot of long list mentions and then they don't actually do that well overall, but I understand why you would think it does well. So, but basically I'm also using the BAFTAs to see like what does well there to help me fill out my other slots in Best Picture at the Oscars.
Right.
So, but I can also see this kind of being like, you know, like House of Gucci, which also got a lot of a completely different movie, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, didn't like get a lot of nominations in the end. So I don't know. And like Elvis was also popular over there. They also love Boz there. even though I don't have him in director.
I don't
He's
have him in
won
director.
at BAFTA before. So.
Yeah, I don't have him in director either. Let's do those. My director ones are fun, I would say. I have Todd Field. I have Edward Berger, All Quiet on the Western Front. I have the Daniels for Everything Everywhere, Martin McDonagh for Banshees, Charlotte Wells for After Sun, and the director of Saint Omar, who I don't actually have written down.
Alice Diop.
Alice Diop, that's right. So that's what I have. I have those 6.
I have the Daniels, Martin, Charlotte Wells, Alice as well, Todd Field, and Decision to Leave, Park Chan-wook.
So you have Park Chan-wook instead of All Quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going in on All Quiet here, but I could see it not being there. I actually think Todd Field could win at the BAFTAs. I guess we'll see. But maybe the Daniels will win if they'll just go chalk.
Yeah, I don't actually know who will win here. Like, I did these just based on probability of getting nominated.
Yes.
So I do have the Daniels in first, but I don't know.
Next we have Best Actress. There's 6 slots, Joyce. I have Cate Blanchett for Tar, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Daniel Deadwyler for Till, Ana de Armas for Blonde, and I do have Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, though I'm like really, really kind of pushing it. Like, what if it's Leslie Manville? That's what I'm thinking.
I have Kate, Michelle Yeoh, Ana de Armas, Danielle Detweiler, Emma Thompson for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. And I too also still have Michelle Williams.
So you have Michelle. So you don't have Viola, and I have Viola and Michelle. Yeah, I don't know. I can see Michelle Williams missing here. They didn't really go for Fabelmans, right? Like the whole group, it seemed.
No, but like BAFTA was reverse SAG because she made the long list and it didn't get either Paul Dano or Judd Hirsch.
Correct.
On the long list. Whereas at SAG, Paul got in and she obviously didn't. So
this is going to be another place, I think, without question, that Ana de Armas will show up on her way to an Oscar nomination.
I mean, we talked about this before, like way before even SAG. That was like she could, because she was getting international play.
Correct.
So she got in at London a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I could see Michelle Williams missing. So with the acting categories, now it's top 3 automatic.
Right.
And then the other 3 are jury picks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the top 3 here are Kate, Michelle Yeoh, and Anna.
Yes, I think so too. So then is Michelle with jury pick?
She would have to be in my mind. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's because I can actually see the Fabelmans getting nothing here. Well, we can't predict all the categories here, but yeah, I don't know.
For Best Actor, Joyce, I have the 6 here. I have are Colin Farrell, Austin Butler, Bill Nye, then Brendan Fraser, Paul Mescal, and Felix Kammerer for All Quiet.
I have the same.
That's the chalk 6. This is a tough beat because the other like 4 are Daryl McCormack for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, which is actually an amazing performance, and he's so good. And
I thought about putting him instead of Felix, but I didn't.
I just thought, like, again, because the movie's bigger, right? Like, All Quiet seemingly, in theory, is more seen and liked by this group. But he's great in Good Luck to You, Leo Grand. Tom Cruise, who we've kind of all moved off of, right? Harris Dickinson, who I really thought of, but I was like, I don't think he would be top 3, and I don't think he'll be a jury pick then, right? Like, I don't know. And Daniel Kaluuya for Nope, which I would be loved to see. And I could see him getting in, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know. I'm not.
I could see him getting in too, but I'm not gonna do it. No. I could see Harris getting into, I guess. Like Triangle of Sadness did well on the long lists. But I don't know. So the top 3 here, I think, are Colin, Austin, and Bill.
Yes. And then Brendan's a jury pick for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For Best Supporting Actress, I actually love this group because there's an actress I have in here who I would really love to see get nominated to Oscars, but I don't think would happen. But I have Carrie Condon, Dolly DeLeon, Hong Chow, Jamie Lee Curtis, Angela Bassett, and then Amy Lou Wood for Living, because she is so great in Living. And I would love to see her get an Oscar nomination. I just thought she's wonderful. That should be a coattail that happens, but it won't, obviously. But here it might. So that's what I got.
I have the same.
That's the top 6 in our odds as well. It seems like the top 5 is the Oscars 5 minus Amy Lou Wood. Like, I do think Dolly DeLeon gets in still at the Oscars over Stephanie Sue, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I could also see Angela missing here.
So
I can't decide if she is top 3 or not.
I don't think she would be top 3. I could see her being.
Yeah, I don't think she would be either.
If you didn't have her in, who would you have? Like, I think Amy Lou Wood could be top 3. I'm not kidding. Like, I really think she could.
I thought about putting Lashana Lynch.
Me too. So that would be the other one. Though I kind of think it maybe is the wrong movie because she's so great in Matilda. But I know she's also great in The Woman King and people love her, but she's not in it very much in The Woman King. That was always my problem with the performance.
I mean, I prefer other people in The Woman King to this performance. Yeah. I mean, I think she's great in it, but
yeah, she is. But it's like we said, like there's like 3 or maybe 2 or 3 other supporting characters who are like almost better. Maybe, I don't know. Would be great. Emma Thompson from Matilda, I could see too. Double nominee. I don't know. For supporting actor choice, this one I don't even know what to do with.
Well, we have a very clear top 3 here.
So I've got Ke Kwan, Brendan Gleeson, and Barry Keoghan. And then I have Brad Pitt. And then even though he's last in our odds, I have Tom Hanks. And then I stuck Michael Ward in there. But I don't believe it either. So that's my 6.
Well, I have the top 3.
Yeah.
And then I have Albrecht Schuch for All Quiet. I also have Michael Ward. And then I just went to Ben Whishaw because I don't know.
So I went with Brad Pitt for Babylon because, like I said, I think people just really like him in the movie. I do think that people like him. And I went with Tom Hanks because it's an insane performance and they like the movie as well. I don't know.
I might change to Woody Harrelson. I don't know. We'll see.
Who? I mean,
instead of Ben.
Yeah.
So
tough. This is a tough category.
Yeah.
With no Fablemans, guys, you're really no Fablemans, no Brian Tyree Henry. Help me out here, BAFTA.
The BTH snub from the long list is just cruel.
That's a real choice.
It's also sucks because they narrowed down the long list this year too, so we just have 10 now. So I think he would have been, or he probably was in the top 15, but we don't know.
So. I mean, I would have had him in if it was on here.
Yeah, for sure. Like if he made the long list, like if this were last year, I think he would be in there, the top 15, and I would absolutely predict him. But he's not in here, so
no. For screenplay, original screenplay, I have Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere, After Sun, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah, I have the same.
That's top 5 in our odds. Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I didn't do Fablemans.
No. Do you think the Fablemans makes in at the Oscars?
Yes.
Better. They can't snub Tony 2 years in a row. That's my take. For best adapted screenplay, Joyce, I made a last second switch. So now I have the top 5 in the odds, but it's Living, All Quiet, Women Talking, Glass Onion, and The Whale. I had The Wonder in there, but I moved to The Whale today.
Interesting. I have All Quiet, Living, Women Talking, Glass Onion, and The Quiet Girl.
That's a good one. Way to go. That could easily happen.
I know. I thought about The Wonder as well. But then I just did this. So
what about Pinocchio, which I also think could get nominated at the Oscars?
I didn't think about this here, but I have thought about it for the Oscars before.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's like one extra spot at the Oscars that it could shake out of.
Yeah.
For best casting choice, I've got Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have Elvis, Banshees of Inisherin, Triangle of Sadness, and then All Quiet on the Western Front.
Wow, I think this is the one where we debate the most. I have Everything Everywhere, The Fablemans, After Sun, Triangle of Sadness, and Matilda.
Wow. I almost had Matilda. No Banshees for you?
No.
Wow.
This is a hard one.
I mean, it seems like
there's
the
a lot
odds
of
are all over
options
the
here.
place. The odds are all over the place because there's not one movie with 100 to 1 odds.
I think the only lock here is Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, I put Elvis because it seemed like they really liked Elvis. I put All Quiet on the Western Front because they seem to like All Quiet on the Western Front. I put Banshees because I thought should be in there, and Triangle of Sadness because it's good. But all the ones you mentioned, I could see getting nominated. Matilda for sure, After Sun, sure, Fabelmans, yes, especially because all three of those have great kid performances. And
I think that was like my thinking. It was like the discovery factor.
Yeah, great
and also like West Side Story won this last year.
It's true.
So
we was watching West Side Story today, Joyce. Can't believe
I know you texted me
that we left that movie dead in the ditch at the Oscars, that Mike Weiss wasn't nominated, that Spielberg didn't win Best Director, that no Puddle Shot nomination, Tony Kushner left out.
No, Janusz made it.
Oh, he made it. He did make it.
Yeah, no editing.
No
editing and no adapt the screenplay, no supporting actor. But you know who did nominate Mike? BAFTA.
Man, we just to think that we have 76-year-old Steven Spielberg putting out West Side Story and Fabelmans within 10 months of each other, and he's not going to win an Oscar probably. Is like, he's just nuts to me. It's truly nuts.
I'm telling you, people take him for granted.
We did not know how good we have it. Truly, like,
people
no idea how good we have it. You guys just knocking out masterpieces like it's 1994 all over again, 1993, and nobody seems to care. Animated feature, Joyce. I just have the top 4, I guess, for this. Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, Marcel the Shell, and Turning Red.
Same. I don't know.
What is there to say about Pinocchio's BAFTA win? Nothing.
I don't know. I mean, like, GTT is going to get another Oscar, so.
And that's it. Then we're back to Best Picture. So we don't predict a lot of the categories in nomination.
Yeah, the below the line stuff. No. But yeah. So we'll see. What I think Banshees will do well here, so I would not be surprised if All Quiet also does well here.
Yeah. If everyone does amazing here as well, I just feel like it's gonna. It still doesn't. I guess I would not be surprised. I think I moved it up into first in my Best Picture odds. I did move it ahead of Fabelmans.
Like before tonight, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had it in first for a while. I think I have Fabelmans in fourth.
I mean, look, I have Fabelmans in third. I have Top Gun in fourth, but I could see changing that. I have Banshees in second. Banshees feels like it's closing in on a consensus.
I think people think tonight was bad for Banshees, and like, yeah, it got goose egg, but also it's not the industry, and I think it'll do well at BAFTA.
I think it's bad on like first glance when you're like, wow, it didn't win anything. But if you actually look at where it was going to win, the only place it was really going to win tonight, I think, would have been screenplay, and it didn't win there. Like, the critics would have been, I think we said this when we were doing our predictions, like, if anybody gives Carrie Condon a win, it would have been great, and hopefully she does get a chance to give a speech at some point, because she's great in the movie, maybe BAFTA, but the Critics' Choice Awards did not do that. So then it was another Angela Bassett.
Tell me something. Did Better Call Saul star Carrie Condon go up on stage when the show won?
No, I didn't see her up there.
God.
I did put Joseph Kosinski in for Best Director in my odds after DGA.
So you have the DJ 5.
I have the DJ 5, and like I said to you, I think in our column, I might dump McDonough by the end.
You're just he's your new Amanda.
I think he is, but I'm also like, I could see him missing. I really do. I could see him missing because I think he might have the Sorkin vibe of being like a writer who happens to direct, not taken as seriously as a director.
No, but I think people do take him seriously, and I think Banshees is a lot stronger than Chicago 7.
It is, but it isn't. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they both get like 6 nominations, 7 nominations, 6 nominations.
It's gonna get 4 acting nominations.
It could get 4 acting nominations, picture and screenplay. That would be 6.
And and then below the line.
What stuff. Below the line though? It's not really, maybe score. That's what I would.
It could get score. It could get editing, which is the big one.
If it got editing, that'd be great. But I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if Mark McDonald got knocked out for like SS Rajamouli.
I don't think they would. I don't think that's going to be who replaces him.
It could be. I think they might go him and Kosinski. Let's go.
No, because they're too snobby for that. They're just like, I mean,
they are, but I do think they all love Rajamouli. He's met like all of these people, all the branch members he's talking to. I feel like Jim Cameron loves him. Spielberg.
Sure, but that doesn't mean they're voting for him. Like you meet and like a lot of people. I think they're still. The thing is like, Todd Field getting in a DJ was huge because that like I think like he's set now, and like Tar is also kind of like that Euro international pick that you would usually reserve for the Oscars, and I think he kind of fits that mold already, you know, for the Oscars. So then the obvious drop is obviously Kaczynski.
Yeah, of course, but I'm gonna keep him in because I just want him to get in.
So you're hope dicting Joko.
Yeah, I'm going in, and I got him 101 odds, Joyce.
So what are you gonna do when Martin gets nominated?
I'll be happy. I like the movie and I like Martin McDonagh. I still like Three Billboards. I know,
but he's your Amanda Seyfried. You just will never predict him.
No, but I'm predicting him. I think I was predicting him way earlier too. I've had him for months, but I'm just like.
But it's just weird that the movie has proven to be very strong and stronger than Three Billboards because it doesn't have any racist baggage.
Right.
And yet you won't predict him.
I am predicting him. I'm saying if I drop somebody, I think it would be him because I could just see him being dinged. As
I know, like you don't want to predict him. That's the thing.
Well, I am predicting him though. I have him. I'm not going to drop him yet. I'm just saying.
But like you know that you want to. That's the thing.
I want to put Rajamouli in. Yeah, I do.
See, that's because like the obvious drop is Joseph
Kaczynski. I mean, it is. Yeah, I'll probably just keep the DJ 5 and call it a life. All right, Joyce, this was fun. I'll see if I could save. I'm worried about my computer because I had to log out, Joyce. So this will be fun. We'll see. Pull back the curtain there a little bit. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.